All right, students, we're here for another Choose a Career segment, and today we're here with
Dustin Asher with Tri-State Utility Contractors.
Okay, now utilities, it's a different kind of market to think about, because most of us, even as adults, really think about our utilities as being a strictly government-run ordeal, but they're subcontracted out. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. And you actually have here in Mississippi, we have one of the largest private natural gas providers in the USA, Atmos Energy. So we do a lot of work for them, and they're privately funded. They're not government. So you got a lot of government regulation, but there's still a lot of private entity in this. We're a private contractor that works for them, contracted them 365 days a year.
Okay. Now, we went out and looked at the truck, and you were talking about lots of new technologies that have come around. But before we get to that, tell us a little bit about what you do day to day and what people call you for.
Okay, so if you have a new house gets built, we come and run the gas line to it. If a gas line gets cut, here in the DeSoto County area, we're normally the second call after 911.
Right.
So we'll work and help them assist the gas company in whatever area they need. We're a full service natural gas contractor. So we do, if it has to do with natural gas, we do it.
Okay, so you're responsible for the actual infrastructure in the ground.
Stuff that nobody sees.
All right. Now, with that, tell us a little bit about the new technologies that have come out. Well, let's cut over and take a look at the truck real quick.
All right, hey, Dustin Asher. It's a hydro excavation truck. What it does is we boom a swing out, and we can dig with water pressure and vacuum without cutting any utilities. So if we were to find a pipe in the ground, it won't cut it because the molecular structure of the pipe is more than the water cut. So that's what we do with it. So this boom swings around. AJ, move the boom around. I don't have the remote, but it's remote controlled. He's got the remote if you look over here. So we can move it around, do all that. It takes all the labor out of it. And then we've got drag this hose out, and we can put a digging wand on it. We got 3,200 PSI of water up to 10 gallons a minute. So we can, and we also got heated water so we can wash cars, equipment, whatever. Or if you're way up north in Canada, it'll actually cut the permafrost with the hot water. So we could probably dig 3 foot deep, 25 or 30 foot long, and then we'd have to dump because everything we pick up goes into this tank in the center, and then we haul it off so there's no mess. And so we got 3 of these we use, plus all kinds of construction equipment. I'll show you this too. Here's how we dump. Is this clean?
Should be. I think.
We're gonna open it. Let's see. So we can unlock the doors, and that's where we store all the mud and water that we pick up. About 2,200 gallons of mud and water will fit inside there. Of course, this is something everybody's getting big safety. So they're getting to where these are coming, they're getting really prevalent to dig around any kind of utility, any kind of gas line. So it's an industry that's not going away. It's getting more and more. There's people now that say, hey, if you're gonna dig in our facilities, this is what you're gonna use.
Now tell us a little bit about the way that you're digging. You're actually using, like, how are you actually digging safely for the students who don't understand?
So we use a term, it's been around, the Canadians perfected it years and years ago. It's just now come to the U.S. Matter of fact, the truck we looked at is Canadian made. They sell it there, they distribute to the U.S., but they've been doing it about 40 years. But here in the U.S., it's relatively the last 20 years, and it's hydro excavation. So we use hydro water. So it's basically a big pressure washer with a vacuum built in, and we cut the dirt with the water and then suck it up with vacuum and store it in a tank and haul it off.
Okay, and that technology itself, I mean, I've seen people use it. I mean, I've even seen guys put a garden hose on a piece of pipe, and if you just push under a sidewalk, you'll eventually kind of dig it under. Right. But this is obviously a much larger scale.
That's right. That's right. We have, trying to remember the specs on the truck. They measured in CFM. So like, you know, a compressor, you see a tow behind air compressor is 185 CFM. We think of that as a lot of air. Well, this truck is moving like 7,000 CFM a minute. So CFM is a cubic foot a minute for those of you that don't know.
Okay, so you're pushing water and air and basically forcing the dirt out of the way.
Right, that's right.
And then your truck actually
Picks it up.
which is nice, so it's not going all over the place.
Right, no mess.
And you said that this is safer, obviously, than digging because that water and air won't cut other things in the ground.
Utilities in the ground. So if we had a water line or the big thing everybody gets upset about now is a fiber optic cable, their internet, their phone, you know, so it won't cut those lines.
We talked about we can't live without air conditioning, and we also can't live without internet.
Right.
Because whenever one of those fiber lines goes down, it seems like it'll wipe out half of a city.
Right.
So, all right, well, tell us a little bit about those who might be interested in getting into the utilities market as a job or a career. There's a lot of different directions you could go with that, and you also said that you don't need a college degree to do this. So, tell us a little bit about the education.
Our only requirements is you got to be 18 years old. We like a diploma. We don't have to have one. Matter of fact, my dad owned a company. He never graduated high school. So, I mean, we're not going to discriminate. We can't discriminate because of laws, but we won't discriminate because, hey, we just want somebody that's willing to work and learn a trade, and we'll teach you a trade. What we do is a trade. So, basically, we take applications. There's other companies do the same thing as we do. We're one right here in the local area. We work a 5-state area right here. But they've just put in an application. And if they're willing to work, we're going to ask them if they're willing to travel, because that's one of the things that sometimes falls into what we do. But we'll put them to work. We'll train you in anything you don't know about. We can help folks get their CDLs. We can train welders, equipment operators, even teach them to run these trucks. However far somebody wanted to go, the sky is the limit.
Okay, so that's super interesting. Students, we mentioned it before. This is set up more as an apprenticeship, which means they will actually just take you right out of high school. Whenever you apply, you can apply, and they will actually teach you what you need to know to do the job. And then you said y'all also can train for CDL, which that is driving trucks.
Right. That's right. So commercial driver's license is what that is for those that might not know. And so we can train you to get that license, where we would want you to work for us a while if we help you get it, because we're spending a bunch of money to get you qualified. But after you was done with that, you could drive a truck cross country, whatever you wanted to do with the license, we could help you get.
I mean, that in itself is amazing training, and the fact that y'all are willing to assist someone in doing that is awesome. Now, you just mentioned welding. Tell us about that.
Right. So in the pipeline industry and gas industry, we do a lot of welding. It's not every day, but we do have welders around. And so we'll teach. We got 3 or 4, and we will teach you if you want to learn. Now, I would say with welding, it's one of the things that we'll teach you, but you're going to spend hours and hours of your own time practicing. It's not something that you can just pick up. Like driving a truck is easy to teach. A welding, it's a technique that you have to learn, and you have to ingrain it in yourself. I can't sit here and tell you how to do it, and you do it like driving a truck. It's something you're going to do over and over and over. But yes, we got some good welders that would help teach that. And a lot of it is giving you the pointers and letting you just do it.
Right. And welding also, in that training, there's lots of different levels and licenses you have to get for certain types of welding. Okay, tell us about the type of pay scale and how you can move up in the company and what students could expect with that, because the pay's pretty good.
Right. So we start out at not knowing anything. We'll take a kid fresh out of high school, $15 an hour, and then you can move up. Our range usually says like 15 to 35. And there, with the way we're in the job market, that's going to change in years to come, but kind of that's the range we're working in right now. And then if you're working out of town, we pay a per diem, which is probably a word that's not always used that they hear, which is if you're working out of town, we take you out of town for a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time, then we're going to pay you, right now it's like $125 a day to take care of your motel room and your eats, so that you're not spending the money that you need to run your household back home. We're actually paying you to be out of town. So that's usually $125 a day on top of your pay.
So if you decide to
travel,
to to sleep really light and eat really cheap, you actually make a little make a little bit of cheese on top.
Right. Used to, we said $125 is a lot of money. Today's time, it's not.
Right. Sure.
The other thing we do is we do a lot of directional boring, which is something else we specialize in, which is we can set up, we can go a quarter mile. We can go underground, down through somebody's neighborhood, and we bore under every driveway, under all the utilities, and pull back a piece of, we could pull back a piece of 12-inch pipe if we wanted for a quarter mile under all the yards and not dig very few holes. Just we would have to spot each utility, but we wouldn't have to dig all the way across the yard. So that's something we do. We don't do it huge. There's companies that do. I think the world record right now for directional boring is, the term is HDD. I probably should use, is more prevalent today than. But the world record is like 9,700 feet of 54-inch pipe. So it's, it's unfathomable what we can do with that technology.
Amazing. Okay, lots of, I'm assuming you get lots of after-hours salaries and pays as well?
Right. We've worked, we end up working holidays sometimes. We normally take them off, but you're paid. So if you're working, you're getting your time plus the holiday pay. Right. We don't like to do it, but if the utilities go off, somebody's fussing.
Somebody's got to fix it.
Right.
Okay. You also mentioned during the pandemic, y'all had plenty of work, so this is a very safe field. These are skills that everybody's gonna we've got to have them to continue living life the way we live. Right. So it's a very safe job. Right.
I've been in it all my life. I was laid off one time, but that was because it actually got too cold to work. We were way up north of Chicago up there. So other than that, we still went out on emergencies, but you just didn't go out every day and go to work because it just didn't make sense.
Right.
Temperature below zero.
Right. All right. If students are interested in getting a hold of you or applying, what can they do?
They can go to our website, tristateutility.net, or also tristatecareers.net. I think I'm saying that right.
Yep.
And or they could call our office at 662-622-0240.
Okay. Or obviously y'all could also go to the career counselor's office and talk with Miss Hennessy. She can certainly get you in touch. Thank you so very much, Mr. Dustin. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Looking forward to seeing some of you.